Hi and hello out there. In my hand I have got the newly launched Huawei Honor 6 Plus to review, which it would be my honor to review it for you. So let's not waste time in blah 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 and get directly to the review. First let's talk about the design and form factor of the phone. Well, it is taller and narrower to the previous Honor 6, but the thickness retains the same at 7.5mm. But still it's very slim. Let's compare it with the form factor of the iPhone 5s. It's really huge, you see. And also the design is pretty similar on the sides, where it has the metal bands and the curved design on the edges. The overall weight of the phone is very less, which just weighs 130 grams compared to the previous 165 grams. But still, the device is pretty easy to hold and operate with one hand despite its hugeness. Overall, the design is top-notch and very premium due to the rounded corners and metal bands on the sides. So, next let's get down to the engine. The phone is packed with a HiSilicon Kiren 925 chipset and a quad-core Cortex A15 CPU, and the GPU is a Mali T628MP4. The phone has a RAM of 3GB and an internal memory of 32GB, which can be expanded up to 128GB using microSD card. It is a single SIM device, and yes, it supports 4G LTE connectivity for faster internet up to 300 megabits per second. The 5.5-inch display is an IPS LCD capacitive touchscreen with 16 million colors with a resolution of 1920 by 1080 pixels, which gives it a pixel density of 401 ppi. And yes, it is multi-touchscreen with Emotion User Interface 3.0. It is not one of the best display, but one of the best of its kind for the given price tag. The colors are sharp, the saturation is perfect, and the color reproduction are fantastic. The sound quality of the speaker is good, but the loudness seems a bit low to my likings. Next, let's talk about the optics, which is supposed to be the main feature of this phone due to the dual lenses on the back, which I found it beyond my expectations. Why? Well, the dual lenses have the ability to capture twice the light of a single lens, which uses a relatively large pixel size of 1.98 micrometers for better image clarity. The maximum resolution of the camera is 13 megapixels, and this results in very detailed images. It also has the ability to capture the best depth of field images like the HTC One M8. It has wide aperture mode that lets you touch to focus or slide to adjust the blur after capture of images. The HDR mode is fantastic because the one lens can capture images with low exposure and the other with high exposure, which results in very balanced images in low light conditions. The secondary camera is also very good, which holds 8 megapixel lens, which has the ability to automatically adjust its exposure very quickly. What about the juice? Well, it is packed with non-removable lithium polymer battery of 3600 mAh, which is way more than any other flagship phone in the world, except the Moto Turbo Max, which means it has now more power than Samsung Galaxy Note 4, Samsung Galaxy S6, Galaxy Edge, Nexus 6, iPhone 6, and the list goes on and on. So no complaints on the juice for the whole day, used for browsing the web, gaming, watching videos, camera, etc. and etc. So now what about the benchmarks? On Antutu, the device was able to obtain a score of 42,134, which is really good, but it was unable to beat the flagship phones with high-end Snapdragon processors. So will it affect the high-end gaming performance? I did run the GTA San Andreas with maximum settings without any lags, but the frame rate was not like games running on other high-end flagship phones like the Samsung, HTC, Apple and Motorola. But the main thing that I have been interested after the camera is the Emotion User Interface 3.0. On top of the Android KitKat 4.4, it is topped with the Emotion User Interface 3.0, so no lollipop just yet. There is no more app drawer, which means apps are accessible directly from the home screen. It's kind of very simple and elegant design, much like the iOS. The phone has on-screen buttons which have a back button, home button and a multitasking button which brings your active applications that you were using. As far as the customization goes, there is a Themes app where you can download different apps and choose your own style. So on the performance perspective, Huawei did a pretty good job because you don't get this kind of hardware in the engine, form factor, optics, display and sensors with any other brands for the given price tag. So should you go for it or not? Well, let me make it clear by telling you what are the pros and cons of the device. The pros are, the first pro is definitely the camera, the quality of the camera that it has. The second is the battery capacity with 3600 mAh, the octa-core Kiren 925 chipset, the 3GB of RAM, 1080 IPS display, the simple Emotion User Interface, and finally the premium body. The cons are, well, there's nothing serious con for this phone at the given price tag. So at the end, if you're still thinking whether to go with it or not, I can recommend a phone for you at almost the same price tag. I have provided the links in the description below, so check it yourself.